Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the session. We have Colonel Mayank with us. Welcome, Colonel.
Good evening, Miraji, and thank you so much. My debut
Yeah,
on your channel.
yeah. Thank you so much. So, friends, let me just give you a little brief on, Colonel Mayank's background because he has a very illustrious background. He's a retired colonel and he served with distinction in the Indian Army for over 3 decades before opting for voluntary retirement. During his notable military career, he also held key diplomatic positions, including a 6 year assignment with the Ministry of External Affairs, 5 years on deputation, and 1 year as a consultant at the Sushma Swaraj Institute of Foreign Service in New Delhi, a recognized authority in military strategy and diplomacy. Now, Colonel Choubey is a frequent commentator on national television and a prolific columnist. As a director of a non-profit organization, he has led numerous health camps for veterans and their families across various regions of the country. Continuing his dedication to service, Colonel Choubey now advocates for breast cancer awareness among young women working across sectors and communities to provide early detection, education, and empowerment. So that's a lot on your plate as well. Uh, I just got tired even reading it. So congratulations.
Thank you, Miraji.
Yeah. So, Colonel, talking about the kind of atmosphere that exists between India and Pakistan. See, in an era where perception often matters more than reality, information has emerged as a decisive vector of strategic influence. Now, the battlefield is no longer confined to the physical realm. It is now deeply embedded in digital spheres, algorithmic influence, and eventually hearts and minds. An example of such an effort to manipulate perception is the way a Pakistani school history textbook, a page from which is shown in figure, in it, which describes the country's clash with India in May 2025. Now, you have very specifically said that now the war is not going to be on land, it is going to be, they would attack India's economy. And you've written extensively, very brilliant articles on this, that why Gujarat is the next target of Pakistan. It does not sound very surprising, but could you elaborate on this, Khan?
Thank you, Miraji, for those kind words. And coming to the point per se, uh, yes, what I fear is that now Pakistan has lost on all fronts when it comes to conventional warfare. Although Mutalba-e-Pakistan, the book that you refer, it speaks that they won the 71 operations, 71 war, 65 they had won, and Operation Sindoor, of course, they had projected that they had won. So we leave it to that. Then the second stage is that they tried asymmetric warfare, that is to pump in terrorists into our country. Now they find that strategy also failing. So now what they have done is to destroy India in the economic field. And if you take your mind back to General Asim Munir's statement in Fort Tampa in Florida, where he was there to dine out the what do you call central command chief of the U.S. forces. There he had blurted out that Pakistan is a dump truck and India is a shining Mercedes. And if in case a dump truck strikes a Mercedes, the Mercedes will be shattered or it will suffer the loss. So I picked up from that point. So he was hinting at something which Pakistan was lacking. Besides IQ, they lacked the economic heft also. And I have been saying that this country was not partitioned based on religion, it was partitioned based on IQ. So the people having lower IQ, they went on the other side of the Ratcliffe line. And it was something- So, but then time and again, they get to prove that point. So this was his first statement. If you recollect, there were forces within India also. They were trying to discredit various institutions. And when I speak of institutions, I say that the business houses are also as good as institutions. So there was a report from Hindenburg which says that Adani has faltered somewhere. Ultimately, the US had to backtrack and say that there is nothing against him. But then forces within our country were also speaking against all these institutions. So there was an attack which was building up on our economic power. Then comes Mr. Trump's statements and his actions on various issues like tariffs. So he levies tariffs. Then he goes on to say that India is a failed economy. Now, we have just seen that Diwali has just gone by, and the amount of expenditure that Indians have made during the festival is nobody's business. I think 62 tons of gold was transacted during this festival season only. So that shows that this is in no way a dead economy. It's a thriving and a economy which is on the upswing. So everything was put to rest. So this is what I fear, that now the Pakistanis will try to attack economic might. Now, if you take your mind back to what the defense minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, says, he makes a mention of Sir Creek. Now, Sir Creek location, everybody knows that it is very close to the Gujarat borders. And then comes the statement on the 3rd of October by General Dwivedi, the chief of the army staff, that the geography of Pakistan will be changed if in case they try any misadventures. And on the same day, the Air Chief Marshal also gives a statement. So these were all warnings being given to the Pakistanis to mind their business, because what we fear that India is the best enemy to be created the moment Pakistan is on a downslide. And presently, Pakistan is in such a situation that they have to keep their house in order. And in order to keep their house in order, they have to create an enemy. And the best enemy is the Hindu Baniya on their east, that is India. So, why I select Gujarat to be their point of interest? Gujarat has a 1600-kilometer coastline. It is served by 46 ports. Now, out of these 46, three are very important. Uh, then comes the location of various power plants. We have the world's biggest hybrid power producing structure in Gujarat, in the run of Kutch. It is estimated to produce 30 gigawatts of electricity. You have various lifelines passing through Gujarat. The bullet train also will be passing through this region. You have the metros running in Ahmedabad city. Uh, so a number of refineries are present. We'll be refining oil to the tune of 350,000 barrels per day in 2026. So that is the projected state. So Gujarat becomes a very lucrative target. And when we speak of this infrastructure and your strategic heft, they are all meshed with each other. You have a strong logistic node, and so will be the army or the armed forces be served by that node. So that is why I feel that Gujarat becomes a state of prime importance, and one should not forget that two major political figures, they come from Gujarat. One is the Prime Minister himself and the Home Minister. So I personally feel that there was a attack. I should term it as an attack on the flight which took off from Ahmedabad, which exploded midair. I won't believe what the Boeing company would come out with, because I have reasons to believe that it was a case of some malefic intent with which this flight was brought down. So many things combined will bring our focus to the state of Gujarat, and that is why they would like to target this. So this is my thinking. I may be wrong, and may God be with this, and I should be proven wrong. But this is what I feel, that this would be Pakistan's next logical step, because they cannot take down India in any other field. So what they will do is, and Pakistan alone itself will not be able to do it. They have the famous Uncle Trump, Uncle Sam, which will be backing this action, because uh, if this action will be music to the ears of the West, China would also feel very happy, because India is now engaged in the western side. So the northern borders and the waters are free now. So they can concentrate there. So every power in the world which is not very happy with the progress that India is making will always try and back this step. So we have seen how President Trump has gone, and he has covered the back of the Pakistanis. And I feel that this is the ploy. Pakistan will be the front end, and the US would be the back end of this entire program. This is my understanding. Yes, Minaji. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, a very simple question, Colonel, candid question is that why does Pakistan invest in terrorism? Because they have so much of, they are rich in minerals, they have so much of wealth, natural wealth. Why can't they think of becoming like India and, moving forward and, taking their people also with them? What is this, what is this thing? They only want to be seen as an enemy country or, a country which harbors terrorists.
Minaji, we just now discussed that this country was partitioned based on IQ. A person with an average IQ would feel that I should put my house in order
You know,
and not focus on the neighbor. Now, Pakistan is one country where they have infighting within the house, but they will want to peep into the neighbor's house as to see as to what is going on there. So that is Pakistan for you. So they time and again they cement this belief that yes, lower IQ exists there, and their actions they speak louder than words. So that is the case. They are used to all these things. It is easier for them to create an enemy rather than putting their house in order. And that's the
yeah,
reason behind it, Minaji. If you
yeah,
see during partition, what happened that 17% of all the assets and liabilities were transferred to Pakistan, but the armed forces, 33% of the assets and liabilities, they went to Pakistan. So you had a disproportionately high percentage of the fighting force available with you. Now they had to be justified, they had to be kept there. So in order to keep that force, you have to have an enemy, and the easiest enemy was onto the eastern border. So India was created as an enemy. Now once you have taken that step, you cannot go back. So all their books published, their population radicalized, and then they were made to understand that yes, India is the enemy. So if you listen to what their children say, people say that a common Pakistani is a very sharif guy and he loves India. Sorry, an average Pakistani also believes in what General Asim Munir believes, that India is the enemy and Indians are wajibul qatl. They are fit to be slaughtered. That is the belief in Pakistan. That's a very candid view. Yes,
yeah.
Meenakshi.
Also, see, what I notice is because when I was abroad, is that any country that is war torn or where patriotism is lacking, where that nationalistic spirit is lacking. For example, Lebanon. So many other countries like Lebanon, Pakistan. What happens is these people really don't fight. They just leave the country and go and settle down either in Canada, New Zealand, or Australia. So you look at the way. I mean, they just leave their people to the wolves, and the wolves are actually ISI. So what happens is, instead of fighting, sitting in the country and fighting and asking for your rights, they abandon it. So this, in terms of the Pakistani people themselves, they are also, cowards, aren't they?
Minaji, you have answered the question yourself. Not only cowards, they are the corrupts of the highest order. Let me cite an example. The IMF had sanctioned a loan of 11.6 billion US dollars, and it was supposed to be paid in tranches. So what happens is that the first tranche is paid, the second tranche is paid, and the IMF senses that something is amiss. You know what has happened is that out of the promised 11.6 billion, 11 billion has already been swindled. There is only zero point 0.6 billion rest available for the development of Pakistan. Before the tranches are paid, they have already adjusted that amount. And how do they adjust? Glaring example, on the 22nd of August, Mrs. Asim Munir gets citizenship along with her three sons of the US within a month. So it is fast tracked. And how do you get that thing? You naturally pay there, you open an account there, and then you get into an agreement with Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia says, okay, you give me 25,000 forces and I'll pay you so much dollars. So these dollars are supposed to be digested by the military hierarchy, and the bones will go to the politicians. So you have Nawaz Sharif also traveling to the west, looking after his interests, and so is Asim Munir. So everybody is having a gala time, and Pakistani public is left to the dumps. This is the actual state of Pakistan. So they will always remain poor, and they will get poorer day by day. Yes, Meena.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because see now, you would wonder. See when people like Donald Trump say that they won the peace prize, and they go about it rather shamelessly, and even ask the Prime Minister of Pakistan to speak about it in public with big figures behind them. What I don't understand is how can you talk about a peace prize when you're encouraging terrorism? You are actually giving them equipment. You're giving them missiles. You're giving them, really making them strong, military wise. Then how do you talk about peace? How can you even say that you called a truce between India and Pakistan when you're up to so much of mischief, isn't it?
Minaji, if you keep India and Pakistan to one side, President Donald Trump is on record. He has said that we sell weapons to NATO and we make good profit. It's a good business. He's on record saying this. So, a person who is in the business of selling weapons to amass some wealth for his nation or for himself, I don't know that. So, how can you expect that man to talk of peace? America is in the business of warfare. The more troubled the area is, the more weapons they will sell. The more weapons they sell, the arms lobby will select that president. So you'll find the president who will go and push for warfare will be the most suitable president in the US. And my sources say that President Zelensky has also made a good buck in this war. So very soon you'll be finding him also scooting from his country. So they are in a business of warfare. They cannot think of peace. It's a big facade that I have stopped 8 wars and I have saved millions of people. I am so sorry. That is not the truth. That is just to be said. And in Hindi we say "Yeda banke pida khana." That is what Mr.
Yeah,
Trump is doing.
absolutely. So, in your experience in the army, what is the kind of character that you would say Pakistan has? You have already elaborated on it, but could you tell us, like, who are you really dealing with? You know, so could you tell me, sitting on this side, looking after India, caring for India, and caring for our interests, how have you seen the character of Pakistan, and what makes them so evil?
Minaji, there are just 2 examples which I like to cite. There is one Brigadier Bajwa of the Indian Army. He was a brigade commander, and he wrote the citation of Subedar Yoginder Singh. And the same officer, he shoved a piece of paper in the shirt pocket of Captain Karnail Sher Khan of Northern Light Infantry of Pakistan, because this officer he fought very bravely. So Brigadier Bajwa shoves in a piece of paper and says that this officer had fought bravely and he should be suitably rewarded. So Brigadier Bajwa is the only person on this earth who has written citations for 2 different soldiers of 2 different armies, and both have won the highest military honor of their country. This is Indian Army for you. Second case, there is a grave in Tithwal, a marked grave of a Pakistani major. This grave was constructed in the year 1972. Now, on the LOC, what happens? An infantry battalion comes there, it takes over the area. So, this grave is also taken over by one Indian infantry battalion. Now, the Pakistanis, they fire shells onto the Indian side. The grave gets destroyed. The infantry battalion, the Indian infantry battalion who is looking after that grave, rebuilds the grave of a Pakistani major. And till date, that grave is intact and maintained by the Indians. Give me one example of Pakistani army doing this. We are poles apart. In Hindi, we say that we fight a dharma yudh. We have
Yeah.
certain principles, certain ethics. The Pakistanis have got no scruples. It is not an army. It's, I can say, it's a best called a mercenary force. You pay them, they are ready to fight. The ethos are totally different. Yes, at one point of time, 1947, we came from the same stock, but then things have changed drastically. The way they ill treat their prisoner of wars and the way we look after the prisoners of war is nobody's business. So you just can't compare. It's like comparing not even apples to oranges, because both are fruits. So it is apples to stones, you can say that. So no
In,
comparison.
yeah. In fact, even the methods they use are so devious. For example, they use, honey traps. And recently, an army officer was caught in that. And what they do is they actually put their women in front. whether you talk about their film actresses or TV actresses, and they are actually speaking, a language of war with India. I mean, their profession is totally different. I mean, they're acting, and they should stick to that. And you have all these leading television actresses speaking nonsense because, as you said, I mean, they're not very well versed of what's happening. So what happens is you're seeing them, as a very, very weak force. ISI is a very weak force. I mean, why do you need to send your women? You have to fight. You fight. Come straight and fight, isn't it? And that's what Operation Sindoor has done. They've not waited for anybody. They've just gone and attacked, and they've not waited for anybody's advice, isn't it?
Exactly. So not only women, they will put their children also in the front,
Yeah.
and then they will play the victim card. That I remember there was one structure, Marka Subhanullah, and they said that women and children have died. Now the women who died, they were active workers of a terrorist organization. I've got the names with me, so I won't be taking the names. It's very well known. So these women were involved in terrorist activities, and they lost their lives because they were present there. Now, what were women doing in a terrorist training camp? So they would say anything. They were just meant to be used as a victim card, nothing more, and that is their ideology. As we have seen that this force has got no scruples. The way they ill-treated our Captain Saurabh Kalia. One example. I'm just citing one example because everybody on this earth knows how they ill-treated that officer. So you don't expect anything wise or sane from these people. They are, in fact, they would put barbarians to shame when it comes to treating anybody else. They even ill-treat their own people. I jokingly say that there are two précis which are taught in the Pakistan Military Academy: how to surrender in front of the Indian Army and how to kill your own people. That is their doing. The butcher of Bangladesh, he could not satiate his bloodthirst, so he was posted to Balochistan, where he killed the Baloch. You have used Air Force. You have used 250 kg glide bombs against your own public in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa 15 days back, killing 30 people there. So, no, this is no army. Even the barbarians will feel ashamed that they have got a clan which is much ahead of them when it comes to brutality. So you cannot compare Pakistan with any country, and you cannot compare their army with any other army. They are incomparable in the negative sense.
Yeah. So I find it very strange that when I watch some videos on in UK, as in family blogs and vlogs and all that, I find that these Pakistani the rich Pakistanis in UK and other people, what they do is they very it's as though it's something very brave that they're doing. They gather charity for the poor children of Pakistan, and they say that they don't have anything to eat, and they elaborate on the kind of poverty that the children and women and men are facing in Pakistan. I find it strange because they're not questioning anybody, but perhaps because of fear. They may be scared of the ISI, perhaps because of fear, or perhaps because they've made so much of wealth in a foreign country that they don't want to take the trouble of going and building their, war-torn country, as you would say. So I think basically, as you said, the very character of Pakistani has to be questioned, because without patriotism within you, without love for your country, without the strength within you to fight all obstacles, I mean, where can you save your country at all? And as you said, they are resorting to this because they are really good in that, isn't it?
Exactly, Minaji. The earlier there was also a saying that they used to say that Pakistan Zindabad. Nowadays they say Pakistan se Zindabad.
Yeah.
So just scoot alive from this country. So this is the condition of Pakistan. Now you
Yeah.
speak of these issues where they're collecting money for the downtrodden and people
Yes.
who are in need. What happens is 2 years back there was massive flood in Pakistan, so the UN sent some relief material to Pakistan. And then after a year, there was a earthquake in Turkey when India launched Operation Dost, and we established a field hospital in Turkey. So Pakistan also sent some aid to their brother Mulk, as they call it. And when the Turkish people they opened their aid, it was found marked that it was meant for the Pakistanis who were the flood affected people. So they were so great that they didn't pass on the relief material to the people who were suffering because of the floods. And they had in turn sent this material to Turkey, showing that we have done so much for our brother country. So this is Pakistan for you. Oh, I've got tales to tell you
Yeah,
if it comes
absolutely.
to yes.
Yeah. So now PM Modi is in quite a fix, isn't he? Because see, every time Trump is changing his tune, I mean, it depends on which side of the bed he gets up from. So something he says in the morning, he's forgotten by the time it's become evening, and we are not sure whether what he's going to back. Whether it's going to be Indian students who come to study, or whether he's going to raise the tariffs. So he is a very unpredictable person. Now Modi ji is caught between him and China. How is he going to, sort of have a balance between these two countries?
Minaji, let me put something very, very clear for your audience. Modi ji understands Trump very well. He knows what is his next step. Have you ever seen the Prime Minister of India commenting on what Mr. Trump says, except for one thing? When he had started this peace deal in Gaza, where Modi ji supported him. And he immediately retweeted what Modi ji supported. Apart from that, Modi ji has not commented on what Mr. Trump has said because he knows that there is no point in commenting because he will fall into his own trap automatically. So that was Mr. Trump and Mr. Modi is very, very clear in his thoughts and ideas. And I must admire that person. He is not a simple politician, he is a sage politician and he understands what is going on. So, a man of very few and very fine words. He travels to the SCO summit, he goes to Japan, and when he comes back, he's addressing the semiconductors conference. And he says that, are you clapping because I'm back, or are you clapping because I have gone? That statement
Absolutely.
was a loaded statement because many
Yeah.
things had happened.
Yeah.
When Mr. Putin was waiting for 10 minutes inside his car for Prime Minister Modi, and they were inside the car without the driver for 50 minutes, lot many things had happened. There was a retired colonel of the US Army who was found murdered in Westin Hotel in Dhaka. So everything was linked. Why people were pushing Mr. Modi to Manipur again. So there are a lot many things, and Mr. Modi understands the polity and the flow of the current very well. It is very difficult to take him for a ride. He is capable. So what I say now, that India is not part of the game. We are making the world play the game. And I've always said that today the road to Bagram Air Base will pass through South Block in Delhi. We are not playing the game. We are making the world play the game.
Yeah.
So that
Well
is
said.
Naya.
Yeah. Well said, Colonel. Very well said. And also, see, one small point before we close. Uh, Modi ji has time and again said that he never interferes with the army or the air force or the navy. When they make decisions, they do it on their own, and he never interferes. Could you explain this a bit?
Yes, Minachi, if you recollect, after Operation Sindoor was launched, the chief of the army staff he went and told his various subordinates that now you can take action as per your will. So the chief will delegate his responsibilities only when the power has been delegated to him. So it is not that the power is resting. Of course, the prime minister was taking a stock of the situation.
Yeah,
As the head of the family, he should know what is going on within the family. But then he's not interfering as to who should be admitted in which school.
yeah,
So that decision was left to the, uh, I can say, lower hierarchy.
mm,
Of course, the hierarchy was top, but
yeah,
then the armed forces were allowed to take their decisions. So, and the armed forces also showed that maturity. I was discussing this with Israeli friend of mine, and he said that during the war with Iran, they had spent just $2 to bring down a ultra modern drone of Iran. I said, friend, that was too costly. $2 in Indian rupees is around 160 rupees, and we brought down that very drone by spending just 50 rupees. So we used a weapon system which was of 60 vintage. We used World War II vintage weapon systems to bring down ultra modern drones. So that is how the army also repays to the public. We also know that we are not a very country with deep pockets. So we have to make do with what is available with us, and we make the best of it.
Yeah.
So it's kudos to everybody, and I really feel proud that I was
Yeah.
born in this part of the world and I'm an Indian.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as you said, Israel is a very good friend because I remember when I was in Baghdad, I was studying in Baghdad. My father was there. And, they were scared that, Iraqis are developing nuclear equipment with the French. So nobody knew it. Very quietly, stealthily, they came. They just put a bomb there. Nobody even realized it, and they went off. That's how they work, so quietly. And sometimes you wonder, such a small country, and the kind of intelligence and strength that they have. So, thank you so much, Kanmaya. Lovely conversation with you. Hopefully, we'll see you next week as well. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night. Jai Hind and Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hind.